Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Solomon Abrams, Greystone Dojo, Urban American Gallery, here with the lovely and illustrious Keake
You got it.
of Wrapped in Smoke, and she's doing some other things that I told myself I would commit to memory. However, we gonna get a little quick. I'll get all the links after this and post them on. Just probably gonna go on Facebook and not Facebook, on YouTube and get on Facebook too. So the purpose of this conversation, right, is for us to we're gonna set our intentions, our intentions, our communications, and our expectations. Right?
Okay.
So one of the reasons I like to do that is outside of being a photographer, when I do rope, I like to make sure that the things I'm doing as far as a rope top and a rigger kind of mesh into my photography parts too, right? And the best way to do that is in ways like this. We have a conversation, typically, lifestyle. And I'm telling you things you know already.
Yeah.
But typically with lifestyle is we'd like to have that conversation. Hey, what are your do's, your don'ts, those ways. This is the best way for me to do that. Covers me, covers you. But it allows us to let that flow in that, right? So, I lost my whole train of thought. So I'm gonna say,
I have that effect on people.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So a little about what I believe the intention is. You tell me from your experience. My intention is to work with you to do a rope bondage photo shoot, rope themed photo shoot, and to create some levels of content for both of us. Along with that, just create some dope art, right? What are your intentions?
I agree with those intentions. I have never done a rope shoot before and have been very interested in doing that. And so just from the conversations that we've had, getting to a place where I can feel comfortable with my modeling in that forum. So I'm super excited about that. And again, to just create some content for both of us and see what else we can do next.
Yeah. And so part of me stating that the intention is a photo shoot versus a rope session.
Right.
Those two things tend to seem similar. A lot of people think they're the same, but they're not. And the difference with a rope, with the photo shoot, with a rope bondage theme, with the shibari theme, is that I'm going to prioritize how the rope looks. And prioritize the energy of the photo shoot, right? Not to say that the like when we do the suspension part, if in that movement you just like having a moment, I'm gonna let you have your moment.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's in that moment. So there are times where I have to make a decision based on what we're doing. I let that intention be like, okay. This may not be the most, like I may do a tie, it may not be the most rope, like the most technically proficient tie, but when you step back and look at it, like, that does look good.
Right, the more the art side of it for the actual shoot as opposed to the rope art.
Correct.
Yeah. I get that.
What's next? Communication. I am for this, not like I'm a straight shooter. For this, my communication style is very yes, no, and then we explain the nuance, right? Because I understand right now there are some things you don't know that you don't know, right? And they're going to be and I communicate that way because consent is very important.
Yes.
And I'm going to get into my consent framework in a second, but it's very important. So I may ask you a question. And what I like is to say, answer it yes or no, then give me the nuance part of it. So if it's can you do this? Or are you open to doing this? You may say, that to me reads no.
Yeah.
It's no, however, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Or if it's, yeah, maybe. Okay, what those things. That way we can kind of build that conversation. Like we're just, we know each other, but we don't know each other. We don't know the intricacies of our communication. What about you? How do you?
I'm open to that. I'm very open to receiving feedback, and also I'm very comfortable saying when I'm comfortable and not.
Okay.
So the yes and no work well for me, and
Okay.
then we can elaborate on that as necessary.
Okay.
I'm good about that.
Now in that, okay. For me, if it's no, it's no.
Right.
What I do ask though, if it's a, let's say, if it's a comfort thing, like if it's like, well, can I show you what it looks like this versus that,
Okay.
right? So it may be, I'm not gonna be like, flash me. You be like, I'm not comfortable. I'm like, you should get comfortable. No, it'll be more like, it won't be that. It'll be, but it may be something like, hey, I have the lights positioned this way. I understand we're doing an implied nude, but if you turn this way, if it's flat out no, then it's flat out
right,
no.
Right.
If it's a maybe, what I like to do, and let me know if this is cool with you. It's a let's do it both ways and then see how that looks.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
I feel like as a model, I'm pretty open to most things.
Okay.
I've done nude modeling before,
Okay.
and that, so I feel comfortable in that.
Okay.
So I feel like we can definitely get a lot of really good images.
Okay.
With position. There's few things that I'm not comfortable with.
Okay.
And so I'm very, very comfortable with saying what I'm not comfortable with.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna be okay. I think we'll be able to try some really interesting things.
Okay.
And, for the most part, I'm very comfortable with my body. We already talked about my
right.
pieces that I'm not
I got
comfortable
you.
with.
I got you.
But for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with my body, and that's why I was like, okay, well, I haven't done this. I want to do this.
Okay.
And I've been holding back for whatever reason.
Okay.
And now I'm in a place where I'm comfortable. Like, let's try it out. Let's see.
Okay.
So I think we'll be okay.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, on the flip side of that, though, right? Let's say if I'm asking you something and then you're not, like, it's a soft no, it's like a real tough maybe. I'll make a decision and say we don't have to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Because one, we don't have the amount of time we don't have the infinite amount of time. Right? Two, it's there are times where we're trying to figure out, like, it's more like we're trying to figure out that kind of kinetic energy between photographer and model. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, how about this? And you're like, yeah, we can try it. In my mind, that's no.
Okay.
Not no in a way that takes power away from you, but no to say, we don't have to venture down that way to find, like, to get a maybe when we can just continue in this route and keep hitting these yeses, or we can just switch.
Okay.
What else? Boom, boom, boom. I'll go with the consent framework, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I'll tell you why I feel this is important. Mm-hmm. So in kink, how familiar are you with, like, the consent frameworks?
But let's share in case other people are not.
Right. Okay. Right. So in the beginning, that people used to say safe, sane, and consensual, right? Meaning that we're going to do this thing in a way that's safe, sane, and consensual, right? Mm-hmm. And that, like I say, and then for a time that was good, right? Mm-hmm. It met everyone's basic understanding of those basic concepts, right? But as the community grew and new people came in, they began to do, they realized that safe, sane, and consensual wasn't enough for everybody. Okay. And so what was developed next was RAC, right? Risk-aware consensual kink, right? Mm-hmm. Which is basically saying that we both understand that there are some inherent risks that happens with this kink that we're about to do, right? And that was cool too, right? But ultimately, what happened with RAC was that it came a point where you had a lot more people, that there was a disparagence and a distance, like a little distance between an experience, right? Okay. And although a person was aware of the risk, they may not have been as aware of all of the risk and all of the things, right? And so, and to cover both people, what they developed was PRIC, right? Okay. Personal responsibility informed consensual kink, right? What that is basically saying that it's your personal responsibility to understand everything that goes on with this, right? Now, that's understandable, right? I'm like a good portion of prick, right? However, based on what Coach Candace and her team developed is what's called TIC, right?
Okay.
Trauma-informed consensual kink. And why that's important to me is that, like I said earlier, there are inherently parts of the experience you don't know what you don't know,
right.
and so some of the experiences will be new, and there may be experiences just as a Black woman, from me as a Black man, and just how life works,
right.
that may have been traumatizing you and may have been traumatic in the past, and you move past it, whatever the case may be, or you didn't even know there was that may come up, right?
Okay.
Now, it's early on, I would tell people, like, tell me if it's a trauma, right? That's none of my business, right? However, what is my business if something happens, right? If I move the rope the wrong way, whistle in the wrong way, and then that fucking perfect storm of trauma pops up, tell me immediately, right? But now we're out of, is it a right thing? It's going to be, hey, like, just as plain as you can say, hey, if you say, give me a second, I'm going to give you a minute.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But in that, I'm going to say, what would you like me to do next?
Yeah.
Right? How would you like me to proceed? And if you don't know, I'm going to give you space.
Yeah.
The only times I'm not going to wait for you to give me an answer is if I have you suspended and you're like, I need a minute. My thing I'm going to say, I'm going to ask if you want to come down, but my expertise in the matter will be like, I'm going to bring you down,
okay.
right? So I'll bring you to a point where you're comfortable, but if you're like, I'm still recovering, I'm going to bring you down. Right?
Yeah.
And so that part is, like I say, we don't know what we don't know, right? And I don't want to, instead of what I don't want, what I would like for you to understand is your safety is paramount, right? That is your safety in all forms, your mental safety, your emotional safety, your sexual safety, right? Your physical safety, right? And so if something happens, and you just like I say, if something happens, let me know, right? Like, hey, that's traumatic.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, now, I'm going to ask you, how do you process through pain? Let me stop. Do you have any questions about the stuff I just said?
No.
Like I said a lot.
I feel pretty comfortable with that.
Okay. While I'm talking, do you have any questions of me about the process?
No.
What was that thing? You can say it like...
Not really. I was trying to think of something to ask, and then I was like, no, I don't.
Okay. And if a comment or something pops in your head, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to the communication portion, you said like, hey, you take criticism. I take criticism well, right? I'm hard to offend unless you're trying to be offensive, right? So but also say things how they sound in your head, right? And so if you say something and I don't get it, say it again.
Yeah.
What I'm finding even more so is that sometimes, like when we're more intimate, closely, I may talk down and then one of us can't hear the other one.
Okay.
What tends to happen in intimate spaces is we lower our tones. And once we lower our tone, we also lower our volume, our projection.
Okay.
And so there may be some vital information or a vital thing that may be missed. And you might be, like, say you might want to get my attention and you'd be like, I don't want to yell. It may sound like you're going to yell in your head, but actuality, it may be like, oh, yeah. Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not as loud as you think it is.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, if it's something, but also this is a collaborative effort, right? If we doing something and I'm like, hey, is this cool? Like, yeah, it's cool. But as we're going through some of these poses and some of these motions, and you're like, it'd be cool if this happened, say it.
Okay.
Right? Because it may be one of those things, a lot of times what happens with rope, with people, even whether the first time or their 55th time, the harness I may have you tied in or the tie I have you in may not be the one that will work for the idea. It's just, we can take that down and reset. Right? Okay. How do you process through pain and or discomfort?
I have a really high pain tolerance.
Okay.
So kind of, and if I say something is painful, it is probably
Okay.
very, very painful to most people.
Okay.
For me, I can handle a lot. I've birthed 2 children naturally, and you know what I'm saying. So like,
all right, okay,
my process is, does it hurt as much as having a baby? No, we're
okay,
fine.
okay. That's awesome. That's awesome that you have 2 natural births.
So I obviously not any like cutting or like if I feel like my skin is gonna break or something like that, then I like,
Okay,
hey,
right,
you know,
okay,
that's not cool. But other than that, like for them, I'm comfortable saying when things hurt and when things are uncomfortable, and
okay,
if I don't like things.
okay. I'm glad you said that. It said it that way. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you, this is not a competition on how much discomfort you can take, right? So we'll go to the difference between like a pain and discomfort.
Okay.
So discomfort, I mean, is that I may have you in a tie and then your shoulder, like your arms, it's just like an uncomfortable position to be in. And the longer you're in it, the more uncomfortable it becomes. That's discomfort. Pain is, it hurts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, one of the things I'm cautioning you against is toughen it out for the sake of toughing it out, right?
Okay.
Because in rope bondage, it's not the things that automatically hurt that are the issue. It's the things that are like uncomfortable in the beginning and they become very extremely uncomfortable that you don't say anything because we don't want to give you nerve damage. We don't want to cut off any circulation.
Okay.
We don't want to do those things, right? And sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's common that discomfort is you're just trying to push through it, and it's a thing that I can adjust, like maybe the rope. Like there are times where the rope maybe it may move under you, it may move, and it's like poking you, right?
Okay.
You might be like, that's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing for the first 30 seconds, but as the rope tightens and we're moving you around and you're posing on it, it becomes worse. Right?
Okay.
And so instead of when I say how do you process, I just wanted to know how you did it, how I would like there's gonna be some things I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell you, be like, I'm gonna talk you through the thing. I'm like, okay, at this moment, I need you to breathe. Here's what you're going to feel. Hold that, and then if it's just like, because I understand that this is new for you.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
It's new for you, something you want to try, and I want to encourage you in this journey. I also I'm not doing this for ego, and I'm not going to let you start your ego rope journey like, I can take it. That's a different thing, right? You know, that we can use that for a different time. You might be like, oh, I can do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's try that. But if something is uncomfortable, let me know, like, that's a little bit uncomfortable. Or we can, because what happens, or what's needed, the remedy for that discomfort is that we just adjust the rope. We set your position. Or it may just be one of the times we gotta dig into our real tough model bag and be like, okay, it's going to suck. However, you look beautiful. You look dope.
And I think that is probably like my experiences as a model, like it's not supposed to be comfortable. The uncomfortable things are the things that look the best. But I am very open to saying, hey, this is uncomfortable, so that we know, and then we can work through the shots. And then if it gets to be too uncomfortable, we can adjust as necessary.
With that part, also, numbness is not so let's say that it's not a good thing. Or if you're just like, if you're doing something and then you can't feel your foot. If that is not a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
So to that point, right, I'm going to consistently ask you 2 questions throughout the session. They sound similar. They're similar, but they're not the same. Right?
Okay.
The first question would be, how does your body feel? Okay. That's you to go through your body and give a mental check, like maybe wiggle your toes, do your things, right? How does your body feel, right? Then I'm going to ask you, how do you feel, right? And that means like more on an emotional, mental level, your internal self. Like, how do you feel, right? Okay. You might go from feeling like what typically happens, right? That like rope bondage, can have a very swaddling effect, right? And so it'll be a moment where you may be like, oh, this is nice. How do you feel? I feel good, right? Or you may go, that was whatever it was, right? lean into however you feel. Like I say, your things are your things, right? What else? I'm trying to think. I got you. How would you like me to speak to you?
Nicely.
There we go. She said nicely.
Nicely.
Okay.
Yeah, I like. I mean, just kind of how we're talking is good. I prefer for photographers to let me know if I'm not in a position that is flattering for my body and for the images. Because again, we're talking about the art, right? So I am very, very open to coaching, and I prefer that. So that we get what the goal is, right? To have some dope art at the end. I don't want you to be so soft and gentle and so sweet and nice, and then my pictures look like crap at the end, right? That's what I don't want. I'm a tough girl, right? So I can handle it. Like, hey, you know, suck that in. Hey, move that or do that or whatever. Obviously, you don't have to, you know, don't cuss me out doing it. Right. You know, in a nice way. It's like, hey, go ahead and move this, but it doesn't have to be so soft and coddling that that I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what, you want me to move my arm? Okay, say that. You don't have to sugarcoat it like that. Just you can tactfully say, hey, suck that in or move that or whatever, you know?
I got you.
So I do appreciate the coaching. I appreciate the direction because I can't see what you see. In my mind, I look amazing all the time.
Right. You do.
Gorgeous.
I haven't seen you not look amazing.
Right? But also, sometimes, you know, that don't look so cute, you know, or whatever. So
I do my best to be very complimentary. In some cases, like I can be complimentary, very flattering and flirty because that energy is there, or it's very complimentary in a professional way. Then other people, there have been some people who want a more authoritative energy, right? And so it's cool with the way with me. It's not. I don't see myself cursing at you like that. There have been some times people ask like, I want this, like be rough with me. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, cool. and or their mottos, we build that rapport, and I'll be like, you fucking around, man, knock it off, right? And we laugh and joke. I know the things you don't want me to highlight. What are the things you would like me to highlight?
Everything else.
She said everything else.
Everything else. Other than what we talked about. No, I mean, so I know that for me, like lips are like fan favorite, right? So these pretty lips, thighs, you know, bottom is fan favorite kind of thing. What looks good? I mean, I've never been tied up, so I don't know what is going to look extra amazing with the rope. So I'm trusting you in that. When you tie me and you're like, you know what, we should highlight this or that because it looks really good with the rope. So I mean, like it's not much that I don't like about my body. So just everything else is I'm trying to highlight that. But yeah, lips, bottom. Looking kind of cute in the bottom right now.
You are you are like I'm like your butt look good now. Look cute ass. Here we go. This is my. If you see while we shooting and you see me looking down at the camera and I'm kind of making the face, I'm looking at you, or while I'm tying, I'm kind of looking at you like that. It's not you. It's me figuring out this thing I want to do. Right. What else? So for real, any questions for me yet?
Like I'm so excited to work with you. Like I've heard so many amazing things and I've seen your work. So I feel really comfortable doing this now, especially after we had our conversation before, right? So I think I'm just excited to get into it. I don't feel like I don't have the information or the all that. We had a really in-depth conversation previously. So I feel like that was helpful to me to get to where we are now, to like, hey, we're actually gonna do this. Yeah. So, no, I can't really think of anything right off. I'm sure I'll think of something and I'll be like, hey, by the way.
Right. And so once we're done, we're going to try to, my goal is to have the same conversation in the back end to kind of gauge your experience and go from there. All right. So that was good. See y'all on the other side. Talk to y'all later.
All right.